Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Charging the defendant Jose Morales with crime of murder in violation of Section 53A-54A of the Connecticut General Statutes. How do you find the defendant as to the crime of murder?
Guilty.
Jose Morales closing his eyes as the jury read its verdict today. He now stands convicted of murdering his girlfriend, Christine Holloway, in 2019 and tampering with evidence. Good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Bridget Bjorlo. Fox 61's Emma Wolfhorst was there in court as the verdict was read. She brings us more now from what happened inside the courtroom.
It was an emotional afternoon here as Christine Holloway's family and friends listened while the jury delivered that unanimous verdict of guilty for Jose Morales.
In the first count of the amended information charging the defendant Jose Morales with crime of murder in violation of Section 53A-54A of the Connecticut General Statutes, how do you find the defendant as to the crime of murder?
Guilty.
After 2 weeks of trial, the 12-person jury convicted 48-year-old Jose Morales of killing his then-girlfriend Christine Holloway in December 2019. The jury also convicted Morales on a second count of tampering with physical evidence. The defense attorney asked for a jury roll to be taken to confirm the unanimous verdict.
And these people stepped up and sacrificed their own time to fulfill this important civic function. And the family is thankful to them for reaching these verdicts, both verdicts of guilty on the 2 counts of the information.
The prosecution spoke briefly outside court Tuesday. Holloway's family and the defense both did not comment. The judge approved a month-long extension for the defense to file any motions of acquittal or a new trial. The judge also granted the state's request to increase Morales' bond to $7.5 million. The state is asking for a 65-year sentence, 60 years for the murder charge and 5 for tampering with evidence. Morales' sentencing is scheduled for Tuesday, July 8th. In Milford, Emma Wolfhorst, Fox 61.
Also new here at 6, we are hearing from Christine's sister-in-law. In a Facebook post, Jody Jacobella says, in part, as my family and I have been dealing with the loss of my sister-in-law Christine and the constant worrying for Vanessa, justice was served today for Chrissy. There's so many emotions right now that we are going through, but we also want to thank everyone for their love, support, and continuous prayers for Chrissy, our family, and for Vanessa.
And we stream the Jose Morales trial from the very beginning, and we'll bring you the sentencing live when that happens. You can watch it on our free Fox 61 News app or stream it on Fox 61 Plus. It's available now on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, or Roku, or Fox 61 Plus. Watch us for free.
The attorney for a Waterbury woman accused of holding her stepson captive for more than 20 years filed several motions today on behalf of his client, Kimberly Sullivan. She was not at her pretrial hearing today and media was not allowed inside, but her lawyer, Yanis Kaloidis, told us the motions filed include removing GPS monitoring, returning Sullivan's cell phone, and lifting restrictions that would allow her to return to her Blake Street home. Kaloidis says one of his concerns is making sure Sullivan gets a fair trial.
We pay attention to what's being reported and how it's being reported and how she's being portrayed in the media. When the time comes, we're going to try and find jurors that can be fair and impartial and jurors that have not made up their mind based on the limited information they've been provided.
Now, coming up in the next 30 minutes, we'll have more details on what happened in court today. Plus, the biological mother of the man accusing Sullivan speaks out.
And now to a Fox 61 exclusive. The Hartford man accused of killing an infant in 2023 was arraigned in court today. Police were called to Rosemont Avenue on April 5th, 2023 for an unresponsive 7-month-old baby. The baby later died at Connecticut Children's Hospital. Investigators later classified the death as a homicide. Officials believe Dante Morley is responsible. He was arrested last month while serving another sentence in Florida. Morley is currently being held on $1 million bond. He faces first-degree manslaughter and a risk of injury to a minor charges.
The new at 6, Danbury police raided a home on Michael Street after getting repeated complaints about suspected drug activity there. They arrested 56-year-old Akreem Danzi, who they say tried to hide in the bathroom. Officers found 130 bags of fentanyl, cocaine, cash, and drug scales inside. 2 other people with outstanding warrants were also taken into custody. Mayor Roberto Alves called it a major step in the fight against fentanyl, saying the city will keep pushing to protect families and clean up neighborhoods.
Hartford police are investigating a shooting that injured a man. This happened on South Marshall Street just before 11:45 this morning. Now, the victim, a man in his 20s, was alert and conscious and transported to the hospital. Anyone with any information is asked to give Hartford police a call.
To an update now on a story we first brought you last night from Wallingford. Police have arrested a man who they say broke into Checkers convenience store and stole the cash register. Police say 63-year-old Jeffrey Nicholson faces several charges tonight. Officers say they caught Nicholson just minutes after the break-in. Investigators also tied him to an attempted break-in at Rose's Deli just down the road moments before. Nicholson is out on bond and is due in Meriden Superior Court on May 23rd.
New Haven police arrested a man who they say vandalized a Tesla. Police say it happened back on March 5th inside the Temple Street parking garage. The vehicle's cameras caught Connor Perriault keying both sides of the car, ultimately causing up to $2,000 in damages. Perriault reportedly works at Gateway Community College. He turned himself in last week and was charged with second-degree criminal mischief.
And a man is recovering tonight after a knife attack in Waterbury, and police are looking for who did it. Officers say it happened just before 8:30 Monday night on Burton Street, and they say a man with a small pocket knife assaulted the victim before taking off. Police say the victim was taken to the hospital with arm lacerations. If you know anything about what happened, give police a call.
A scary situation for a driver at I-91 after the car they were in caught fire. Check this out. It happened yesterday in West Springfield. Firefighters pulled the driver out of the car. They were taken to the hospital with burns and smoke inhalation, but we're told they are expected to be okay. That wasn't the only rescue of the night, though. While crews stopped fuel from leaking into a nearby storm drain, they found a dog that had been missing for more than a month. Tonight, that dog is back home safe and sound with its owners.
And a Portland family lost their home and their beloved pets after a devastating fire. Flames broke out around 1:30 Monday afternoon on Mashamatsic Trail. Firefighters say flames from a burning wood pile spread to the house, and they say they had trouble getting the fire under control because of strong winds and a lack of city water. Multiple departments responded with tankers to help. The home is a total loss, though. A GoFundMe has been launched to support the displaced family.
And there have been 2 fires in just as many days as Rocky Neck State Park and East Lyme. People in the area were told to stay inside until all the smoke clears. Firefighters worked through the night and into the morning on this latest fire.
Fox 61's Glenn Kittle talked to people who saw the fire and were shocked at the scenes from the state park.
The first fire that occurred on Sunday is now contained. On Monday, Connecticut's Department of Energy and Environmental Protection's forestry team started a controlled backburn near the park. People who live near the fire said that they could see the smoke from Old Lyme across the 4 Mile River.
Monday night's controlled burn lit up the banks over the 4 Mile River in Rocky Neck State Park.
My 9-year young daughter said, Mom, there's a big fire outside. And I'm like, oh, there's not. She's like, yes, there is. It's really big.
Crews were on the scene to contain a brush fire that started on Sunday night. Tina Haney lives near where the crews contained the blaze.
And there was some guy dressed all in black starting more fires. And we're like, why are you starting more fires? And he's like, oh, I'm trying to control it. And we're like, it's not making any sense.
Due to the thick smoke, Old Lyme Fire Department asked people who live near the area to stay indoors and avoid outdoor activities until all the smoke clears. Haney says she and other families in the area were shocked to see the fire.
It just expanded and it went all the way up the river, and nobody gave us any advance notice whatsoever that any of this was occurring.
The forest fire danger in Connecticut has been listed as high the past few days. The Old Lyme Fire Department has this advice to avoid brush fires. Do not burn outdoors. Dispose fireplace ashes into metal containers away from your home or brush. Avoid putting hot cars, lawnmowers, or other machines on leaves or grass, and properly get rid of cigarettes. Haney says she is disappointed that she didn't receive a more advanced notice about the controlled burn.
But to put out a Facebook post to say, oh, there's brush fires in Rocky Neck and don't worry, the smoke is fine, that's not cool. That just does not suffice.
Old Lyme Emergency Management says while the sight of smoke may be startling, there is no cause for alarm. In East Lyme, Glenn Kittle, Fox 61.
Well, two people from New Jersey appeared in court today after police say they admitted to pointing a laser at drivers on I-84 West in Manchester last night. A driver called 911 at 8:30 saying someone was pointing a green laser at other drivers near exit 61. Police later found 25-year-old Manuel Dominguez-Lees from Camden and 38-year-old Mabel Parrott from East Brunswick. They admitted to pointing the lasers at drivers and signs and told police they were just having fun. They were held on $2,500 bond and face charges of illegal use of a laser pointer and reckless endangerment.
Well, right now, Pope Francis is lying in state in his private chapel as the Vatican prepares for his funeral. He'll be moved to St. Peter's Basilica tomorrow. He'll be there for 3 days, and mourners will be allowed to visit with the Pope for a final time. Cardinals announced this morning that his funeral will be Saturday at 10 in the morning or 4 a.m. Eastern Time. After his funeral service, Pope Francis will be buried in St. Mary Major Basilica.
And meanwhile, the city of Buenos Aires lit the landmark obelisk in honor of Pope Francis. He was the first Latin American pontiff. The obelisk is the most significant emblem of the city, just as the Statue of Liberty is for New York. It was inaugurated back in 1936 as a tribute to the 4th centenary of the founding of Buenos Aires. The Vatican said Pope Francis died of a stroke that put him into a coma and led his heart to fail. He was 88 years old.